What up, everybody? Welcome to episode 22 of the Columbus DJ podcast. It is September 3rd. It's Thursday. It's 6:33, and we're still missing Corrupt. We hope that he finds his way out of Verdansk here shortly and joins the podcast. But I'm joined today by JONOMATIC and CAFFERY WU. Big thank you to you guys for being on the podcast today. In the case of JONOMATIC, we've been friends a long time. I'm not like that kind of guy to be like behind the music. We discovered JONOMATIC, but I kind of brought you into the DJ world a little bit. And then CAFFERY WU,
yes, you did.
I got to meet you kind of last fall while I was at Ethel, and we both worked for A&R and Dahlia. So it's cool to hear your story, kind of making a splash into the Columbus scene really quickly after moving from Portland. But I'm going to let you guys do some intros and let these people know who you are. And JONOMATIC, just because I have a little more history with you, I'm going to have you start, if that's all right, man. Tell us who you are, what you do, and why you're here.
Hello, everybody. My name is JONOMATIC. My name is, my real name is Jonathan, but I go by JONOMATIC. What I do is I am a drummer, DJ, and somewhat of a dancer still. Used to be somewhat of a b-boy dancer, but I haven't really danced in a long time. So, pretty much how I started DJing. I ended up going to a festival called Farm on Fire back in, I think, 2014, I believe, and one of my homies, BBX. Shout out to him, by the way. He was playing, and I met him when I was still dancing. I never knew about the whole DJing world. I never thought about wanting to be a DJ until I actually went to that festival and I saw Heroes, who was playing Buku, Dirt Monkey, and all those guys. And I was super happy when I got to go to my very first actual EDM festival. So yeah, and pretty much from there the rest was history. The following year in 2015, I believe, and I was like, hey, I want to become a DJ. Started learning. Ended up running into Mike over here, DJAXCESS, and he showed me some stuff when I was still just freshly learning and freshly getting into it, and went over to his house and had me mess around with some stuff, and yeah.
Yeah, man, I want to talk a little bit more about how I met you. I used to do the proms for a lot of schools, but specifically Hilliard Bradley, which is where you went. And I'd be DJing, and inevitably, there'd be that dance circle. And that was kind of a thing that was going away. I hadn't seen that at a lot of high schools. But Bradley, y'all were out all about it. And you get in there, and a couple of others would get in there. You guys were really good. And I feel like maybe the third or fourth time DJing for you guys, I got to meet this dude. So I went over there, and I was like, yo, dude, I think I could pass you my card. I said, if you're ever interested, you could join our company. We're always looking for dancers. I think you'd be really good, blah, blah, blah. Gave him the whole spiel. And then I don't know if it was after that, but I think you maybe went to Farm on Fire. And then kind of saw okay, maybe this is me, and then brought you into that. So talk about working for Buckeye Sounds, because that I think had a lot to do with your development before you completely took a left turn and started doing all the rhythm, dubstep, the high energy.
Oh yeah,
that you love.
Oh man, Buckeye Sounds. I don't even know where to start from this, man. But pretty much what happened was when Mike ended up, he gave me his card. This was after Fall on Fire. I ended up looking at the card, and I was like, oh snap! And I was looking for somewhere to where I could actually work and still kind of do what I love to do, which was dancing at the time. And he said, hey, we do mitzvahs and stuff. Got in contact with the founder of Buckeye Sounds, which is Red, and he emailed me, told me that there's a mitzvah going on, and they were looking for a dancer, a really good b-boy. So I went over there. Mike was there, and pretty much I ended up I was able to build like a really good connection with Rod, but also better and a closer connection with Mike, obviously, and really got to know him more. So, and I mean, from there, like after dancing for at least about a year and a half, I was actually DJing and everything, and I started to get a lot better. Rod was like, hey, what would you think about DJing, school dances from me? I'm like, that would be cool. Like, so, and he didn't know at the time that I was actually, like, I actually knew a lot of stuff about the whole, like, DJing world and all that. So,
right, that you had already been learning on your own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so pretty much from there, he was really impressed, and he's like, all right, cool. And then later on down the road, I ended up talking to BBX, and he was telling me he was kind of looking for another job and stuff, and still kind of working the music, like whole music industry stuff, while still doing his job and doing what he loves. And I told him, I was like, hey, we're still looking for, like, we'd love to have another DJ. So I introduced Rod to Jordan, and pretty much from there, we've helped out, and we kind of took Mike's spot for DJing all the school dances and mitzvahs. And pretty much if it wasn't for you, like, this wouldn't even have happened. So
I don't know about
thank
that,
you to you for that.
I may have accelerated a little bit. I would say it wouldn't have happened. Dude. Like, you saw some DJs at Farm on Fire doing their thing. You got inspired. You started. Yeah, for those of you who don't know what a mitzvah is, maybe never been to one or don't really know, it's like a 13-year-old birthday party to celebrate the crossing into man or womanhood for the Jewish community, and a big celebration, almost like a wedding. You have all ages celebrating. There's some formalities, but ultimately people are there to dance and have a good time. You have to entertain the kids. You have to entertain the adults. And when you hear things like MC, DJ, dancer, you would typically start off as a dancer, which really should be called party entertainer. You're not like break dancing for these kids. Like, sometimes you are, but it's more like interactive dancing, easy hand motions, call and repeats, things like that you can do to get the kids energized. You have a DJ who's playing the music, and then you have an MC who's kind of the ringleader, directing the DJ as well as the dancers to kind of create like a really dope party. But I think your specialty was the proms, man. You would post videos or the school dances where, like, you really had them going, and it wasn't to, like, the Taylor Swifts to the Drakes or like stuff that would be like normal. It was like to the music that you really like to play. So I know you were playing the normal stuff as well, but you really kind of got to use an element of what you do within the EDM community when you were DJing those proms, and people really liked it. So maybe, like, did anything from the mitzvah circuit and like DJing at school dances help you with your performance when you got to like Scully's and the bigger EDM events?
Yes, it actually did. It was honestly because, first off, I was able to help me out with crowd reading a lot. That was the one thing. Also, not just that, but I mean, with the amount of people that were over at these school dances, like, there was a couple schools that had like over like 1,000 kids. And I'm like, holy smokes. Like, I think Grove City was one of them. We had their prom over in the convention center. I'm just like, dude, this is going to be crazy. And like another school had like about 3 kids for like their homecoming and everything. So, and with that, like, it kind of helped me out just to translate that through, being able to kind of just also it just ties in with expanding my genres more with playing whenever I'm playing music or certain genres of songs. So like if I'm playing like a Taylor Swift song, for example, I'll probably have like a remix somewhere, but I'll start off with an original and I'll kind of work my way into the remix. So
yeah. For sure. I think about like when when I think about like what helps when you do those gigs and what it is, like a lot of DJs, you know, they look up to DJing. At Dahlia, look up to DJing, and maybe like a food hall or like a Bluestone. Like Bluestone's 1,800, and that's like one of the premier like concert venues. You know, Dahlia probably holds maybe 750. Food hall probably holds like 1,000, and it's like some of your first gigs were like numbers of that size. So, you know, when you got to a Scully's, you're like, yo, this is nothing. I've done this before in a bigger space with, you know, maybe not as cool lights. But I think it really prepares you for that opportunity to spin in front of that many people, which I think can be really exhilarating. But I want to hop over to Caffrey Woo. You know, Caffrey, you're joining us from Portland. Tell us about what you do, man.
Yeah, my name is Caffrey. I moved here from Portland a couple of years ago to go to Ohio State.
Go Bucks.
I've been DJing for, yes, sir. I've been DJing for 5-6 years now. For the first couple of years, just pretty much messing around with the computer on Virtual DJ, just twisting the knobs with the trackpad and everything. But they helped me understand what each knob does. So I guess that helped a lot. And then I got a DJ 400 and started messing around with those. I didn't really have anyone to teach me how to do it. Pretty much figured everything out by myself. Reason why I started was I think I was like 11 or 12, and I heard Tiesto's live set at Ultra, and immediately got drawn to electronic dance music, and I thought it was cool. And I thought, you know, one day I want to do the same. And yeah, that's pretty much what I've been trying to achieve so far. And first gig in Columbus was actually OSU Ski Club.
Nice, man. I feel like a lot of girls start with Ski Club. That's they throw some amazing parties.
Yeah, it was their spring block, I think, a couple of years ago. That was cool, and got to know it's a crowd that I'm hopefully going to be playing towards back then. And then moved to Ugly Tuna. Started on Wednesdays doing their house nights. They're mostly pretty dead on Wednesdays, but we try to get some friends to come out to support and to make myself feel more confident playing in front of a lot of people in Columbus. And then, then we just went from there. Pretty much. Yeah.
So tell us about your start in Portland. Did you have like a mentor? Did you start with a company? Did you just learn off of YouTube? Like, what was your upcoming like?
I didn't really know, you know, YouTube had tutorials on how to DJ. I pretty much figured everything out by myself. Mm-hmm. I just wanted perfect, you know, transition. And so I just pretty much started from there. When nightclub scene is not that big, it's mostly strip clubs. Yeah. And people there DJ on Virtual DJ on their computers too. So I think, yeah. But I just pretty much played at some house parties, you know, hang out with the prom days at our pool and stuff. And yeah.
And I always like to know
just watch and learn.
What equipment DJs start off on, because I mean, obviously now when you're at Dahlia, you're playing on CDJs or Tuna, you probably bring in your own stuff. What's your like go-to? Maybe what was your starter equipment, and then what's your go-to equipment now?
I had a DJ 400 3-4 years ago, pretty much, and been using that and then upgraded to a 1000. And once upgraded to a 1000, I think I started playing at Tuna, and I think Carter at Tuna, bringing his CDJs every night whenever he's there. So that's the first time I've ever played on CDJs.
Wow.
And from there, yeah, I think it went well. The first night playing on CDJs, Carter said I did well, so I guess I did well. But from then on, I've just, you know, saving up money to buy CDJs, and now I own my own CDJs that I've been playing on. I feel pretty comfortable playing on CDJs because it's without a computer, so I feel secure because everything is so mechanical, you know. There won't be any glitches or anything, yeah.
Now, when you were starting off, whatever, you started off only doing pretty much like house and EDM. You mentioned Tiesto and some of the other EDM guys, but I know you play open format now. So do you find that playing the music's like the same kind of ease, or do you find open format more difficult, EDM more difficult, or is it all the same?
To me now, it's pretty much the same. I think I've been playing the piano since I was 4.5.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand how like each song's formed. So it helped me to transition to open format, because it doesn't matter if it's whatever BPM the song is. It's all formed by like forums, you know, verse 1, verse 2, and all that. So if a DJ can identify that, then it doesn't really matter what BPM it is, you know. So
For sure.
like even now, I still think like mixing house is a little tricky. Like when to drop in this next song that will make all the lyrics in sync, you know.
Yeah.
And all that. It's still tricky. Everything is tricky. You just gotta keep listening to what you're gonna play, and just, you know, hope for the best.
And then I know when I first met you, Ethel and Tank, we had a nice conversation just talking DJ stuff. At that point, last fall or last spring, it was like your dream to DJ at Dahlia. Now you're a resident there each week. Tell us about how that came about, what you had to do, and then tell us about the last 2 weeks that you've been DJing there.
So obviously by the time we met, I was playing mostly at Midway Block, sometimes Midway and Ethel. And we had 5 DJs at that time, and A&R Creativity had Midway, Ethel, Trism, 4th Street, and Midway Block. So there's 5 venues. So we're pretty much spread around. And then I think spring semester came around. Yeah, something like that. Spring or like late fall last year. I was told that, you know, I won't get as much opportunities as I did during block season, because Trism is running on its own by Shane, and they're getting rid of 4th. They're not using DJs at 4th anymore, so it's just Midway and Ethel. And because I'm the newest one to the group, so that I won't get as much opportunities. So I just went to Trism that night and talked to Shane. I was like, hey, I like what I'm doing, you know, and I don't really ask for much. I just want to play here and try to please the crowd. And I tried and started playing for Shane for a whole lot. And COVID hits. So
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we were all pretty devastated, but just kept working hard, keep reaching out, making connections. Joey DM'd me on Instagram and said, there's a house show. Hey, you want to play that? Because he knows I play house. So I went there and played house. Before I went on, he told me to be open format, so I did open format, and I think they liked it. Corrupt liked it as well. Unfortunately, he's not here. But but yeah, that's how that happened. I don't think right now I don't feel comfortable playing at Dahlia like as comfortable I am at Trism yet.
Sure.
It's still a new crowd I'm trying to get used to, and there's still so much more to learn. Like the music choices and stuff are different now. Obviously, when you play for campus, you tend to mix in a lot of throwbacks and stuff. You can't do the same thing here. So yeah, it's trying to adapt and try my best every single week. Treat every single day I play there as my last. So.
Yeah, man, I like how you were kind of talking about the differences between campus and downtown. Like you mentioned throwbacks being way more popular at Trism and campus, maybe not so much at Dahlia. What typically works for you at Dahlia, and like how, like what made you like realize, like outside of like Joey like telling you, hey, more open format, was there anything that helped you like realize that like maybe that was the way to go?
Every time before I play at a venue, I would like to go there a couple of times in advance to just see what the previous DJs play. As a matter of fact, before I officially started playing at Midway a lot, I spent about 3 or 4 months just standing next to Connor or Sam, just learning like what they're playing, and I've been trying to do pretty much the same with Corrupt, except I couldn't stand next to him. But I try to take in as much as I can every time I go there. But I realize that top 40 hip hop is great, and a lot of songs around 100 BPM it's good for the peak hours. And as of right now, I'm trying to learn like what kind of song would work best to open the night from 7 to 7:45. I was told R&B. I'm trying to work on that, and I've been paying attention to what Corrupt plays from 10:30 to 11 as well, just to figure out how to close the night as well.
For sure, man. Yeah, the R&B vibes early definitely work out, and you definitely talk to Leak. Leak's pretty solid when it comes to the R&B stuff. But John Mac, I want to hop over to you. You've mentioned it a couple times already that you were both a drummer and a b-boy, so like basically it's taking over all aspects of like music. What from like being on drumline, doing snare, and b-boying, do you think that helped your transition to DJing more quickly? And what was like helpful to bring over from those two like artistic qualities to like DJing? I'm wording this completely poorly, but like, did that help when you were trying to move over?
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Honestly, it did. Like with the drumming element, I would say, well, I took over with kind of carry over from that to my DJing, be the syncopation of like all these like rhythms and all these like different kind of all these like different percussions that you're like hearing and like so, and from there it really helped me just to get really good ideas off of like what like the kind of make and that I want to go for, especially like for my brand and everything. But for my b-boying, I just kind of over to basically listening to like different songs on like, what would a b-boy do like if he was like sitting here in the crowd, he was listening to a song and he wants to like be on the dance floor and start breaking, so, and that's the kind of that's like kind of like the have for b-boying when it comes to that. So I always kind of find like a really good anything that has a good rhythm, like that I can just dance to, and be like other people like shufflers, like other dancers like shufflers and all of it, and like hoopers and all of them, just if they're on the floor, then that's the kind of like music that I can kind of get a feel for on like, okay, this is what they want to hear, because this is stuff that they can just jam out to and just vibe out to and just groove to, instead of like, like going crazy or so on and so forth.
This might shock some of the listeners, but I used to be an aspiring b-boy as well, and I agree, man. When you see the creatives, like I think they call it the talent pit at the shows, and you see kind of one forming, or whether it's at a prom or whatever, I think we have a unique ability to identify that and give them what they want, because there's some songs that are easier and better to perform to than others, and having a catalog of that, especially like with the old school b-boy stuff, and then like you have in the modern the modern day the modern shuffler songs. So I think that is something that carries over really well. And then you incorporate your snare, I think, and your marching band. I don't know what the official name for it, the hat.
Yes.
In your shows. So talk about that at all. Like doing both at the same time. Does that helps?
Do I, what was that? Sorry.
Sorry. So you DJ and use the snare at the same time, or there's sometimes you just bring it with you?
Okay. Yeah. There's points to where I just recently started doing this because I like had like a whole like little kind of a rebrand. I would say just want to like kind of start over and really think about on what I wanted to do with like my JONOMATIC project, and what would go good with the band, and one of my good friends, he ended up, we were just talking about it, and he's a drummer as well, and pretty much talking about it, and I actually ended up thinking about it, saying like, oh, like this would be kind of cool to kind of incorporate my snare with my DJing on top of watching a bunch of videos like Ralph Nader, who does all these snare videos. Sometimes I'll share them on like my Facebook page. Ever heard of him or not? But you've probably seen a couple videos. But he was definitely one of the guys that I was really inspired by when it comes to doing that, as well as Said the Sky. That really kind of set it off. Yeah, that really set it off, because Said the Sky and his snare drummer, Day Gatsby, ended up bringing their snare drums to Scully's when I went over to see him perform. And I remembered I was upstairs in the green room, and they were just like, and I ended up like joining them, and I think Brandon Clayton, he also ended up joining them as well, and we were just having fun.
Damn, I didn't know BC was a drummer.
I did not know either until he was in I know he was in band, but he just kind of, he knows a little bit of like the whole like stick tricks and everything and the flips. I'm like, I can't even do that, because even though I'm a drummer, I don't know any of the really crazy stick tricks yet. And I'm just like, dude, I need to learn this. So,
all right, I'm asking you point blank. I'm asking you point blank. You and BC in a B-boy battle. Who's taking home the grand prize? You and BC.
Oh man.
Do we have to set it up? I think we might have to set it up.
I don't know, man. I know. Well, oh man.
All right, let's talk. Let's break it down. Let's break it down. Let's go by different styles. We got, your top rocking, you have your popping, you have your floor skills, you got your footwork. Maybe break down each one. Is there any area where you say he's got me on this, no question?
He's got me on footwork.
Okay.
I will say he's definitely got me on footwork, because that dude, anytime, if there's any house music that comes on, he is for just going in. I'm like, dude, like his footwork is nuts. So I
got giving him.
He's got footwork, but I don't got me on the actual like break-in and stuff. So,
damn, he said he's into actual break. Did you hear him? Did you hear what he said? Damn, I hope he doesn't see this. No, I'm kidding. It's all love. He's probably saying the same thing about you. But yeah, nothing is better than seeing like some b-boys on the floor, just going crazy to your stuff. But I want to bring it back to Caffrey. What do you think about the EDM scene right now? Because a lot of the DJs aren't doing anything. There's not really a lot of streams. What do you think is going to be? Where do you think the EDM community goes from here?
There's just not so much stream from locals, but I think there's a pretty good amount of streams from like Insomniac and all that, and people can party to that, or people can go to watch the previous year's shows, festivals live again. I guess I don't really know, or I think Callahan's is throwing like a house event this weekend or something. Maybe it's a house people will go there. I think Joey's curating like trap shows and all that every once in a while. So certainly, I think the entertainment industry is providing people with opportunities. It's just whether they're willing to take it or not.
Sure. Are there any DJs in the EDM community that have been streaming that you've been like watching their stuff closely? Are there channels that you like?
I've been watching just Insomniac. I've been following that channel. I think right now the Infinity Sky sets are on. And I've been paying close attention to Lost Frequencies, Mike Williams, something like that. not like the top 5 DJs, but I like the music they're making, and so just I think most EDM enthusiasts will pay attention to a specific artist instead of just a general genre. Because I think they got more time to sit down and enjoy the music. So I don't know.
Yeah, I want to bring it back here because John Mack, I know you like to go to festivals. Caffrey, I assume the same. I guess over in Europe and Britain, they're doing kind of the big music festival stage, and then they're having little pods of maybe 4 to 6 people, almost like, it's VIP everywhere, but there's 6 feet of space in between the pods, and they're trying to do like the social distancing raves. Do you think that's something that if this kind of pandemic extends any longer, do you think that's something that could be brought over here and be effective, or do you think that it's kind of too late to try it? And we're kind of already behind that.
Honestly, I would probably say, like, I feel like it's not too late to try it, honestly. I feel like they should experiment first and be like, all right, let's give this a run, like kind of like a little bit of like a trial run to see how this fits. But if it doesn't really work out that well, then obviously, they'll be like, oh, well, then we're just not going to do it.
Yeah.
They're just going to keep it over there out in like Europe. So,
yeah, that's kind of thing, man. Because I mean, I'm assuming there's got to be at least $1 million of investment into these, pods. Because the ones that at least I saw were like steel pods, and you're talking about, the staging and everything like that, and whether sometimes the staging you can bring in.
Right.
But I'm wondering, trying it is one thing, but trying it when you got $1 million, $2 million, maybe even $5 million investment online is something else. What do you think, Caffrey? Would you attend one of these?
Isn't Prime Social doing some soon?
I haven't been paying attention, to be honest with you. You might have more information.
Well, that's what I've been seeing on Instagram and all the social media and stuff. I mean, if I can find a big enough group of people who would like to spend the money, be in a metal pod, and we'll go, I guess. But how do you know that will happen?
Yeah, I'm totally down for that.
See, like the actual raver in me is like, nah, because I think part of it is like moving through the crowd and like, they're like,
it's all about
But there's like that element of like being close to people and like you're walking through the crowd, seeing other people enjoy the music, and those moments where like everyone's doing the same thing. It's to see as people with their hands up or singing the song. I feel like you would lose an element of that just with social distancing and the amount of people that you could have. But man, I know you, JONOMATIC, like me, having 6 feet of space to dance for myself. Oh my God, there might not be anything better than that. So like that's like the old head in me talk about it that way. So I think I would attend one just to try it, but I don't think it would be something where I'm spending a ton of money, or it's something where I would be going every year. But there are elements I think I would enjoy. I want to hop over into show and tell. We talked about it a little bit in the pre-show that John Mack's got a little bit of everything in his room. But I actually want to start with Caffrey. Caffrey, what's the show and tell today?
Don't really have one, honestly. I think I have a bag of palm balls here.
Oh, you play table tennis?
Pretty much. No, it's not beer pong, dude.
Oh man, I've been out of college so long that those have actually turned into like a sporting thing rather than a drinking thing.
Yeah.
So, all right, man.
I think because
Go ahead.
So I mean, when I first came to college, I couldn't really DJ because I found a girlfriend fairly fast. She didn't allow me to go to bars and all that stuff, so that wasn't too nice. But yeah, I was still allowed to go to parties with my friends. I think playing beer pong with them and listen to what the DJ play helped me a lot to understand what Columbus people like. And that played a pretty important role in getting to know the music industry in Columbus.
All right, so maybe I could have a follow-up question about this, about the pong balls. What are like the go-to official rule now? Because I hate that when I say this, but back in my day, you had one re-rack. If you had a bounce, like you had to call whether it was like a bounce, you could hit the bounce away. You had make it in the same cup was game over. What are like the standard rules now? Like in beer pong championship, what's standard rules?
I think it's still one re-rack, right? Yeah. I think it's still one re-rack. And,
You always want the rhombus. The rhombus is because you get to still shoot straight, but you got two lines. And you get the triangle if you hit one.
Yeah.
This might be
something like that. I think
giving away
a lot
secrets.
of houses. I think a lot of houses now have their house rules. It's kind of annoying. But,
all right. So what's your guys' house rule?
What is the house rules here? For a beer pong?
For beer pong?
Yeah.
2 cups, bring it back. If it rolls back to your side table, the behind the back, is that official?
I think I've been to my friend's house recently, and they do the 2 cups front and back, like right in front of each other, to do it automatically, so it doesn't count as a re-rack. But yeah, I think that's interesting.
Damn, I love, like, man, we talk about table tennis. I used to play table tennis, fairly competitive, not super competitive, but fairly competitive. I thought we could talk about that, but alas. JONOMATIC, what'd you find for us, man?
All right. Well, first off, you already know I have my snare drum right over here. That's just chilling in the corner. I'll bring it out. But this is my baby. Pretty much like as a drummer, yes. I haven't had my own snare drum before. Like, this is my first time actually owning my first ever marching snare. So, but super nice. So, and then also I have a couple more things. Obviously, like I have a couple plaques that are hanging up on my wall, like over here in the back. But they're from doing a huge talent show for this. What do I want to call it? It's like this organization called FFA. It was basically when I was still in school. It's called
Future Farmers of America.
Future Farmers of America.
I know it well.
Yeah. So they had a huge state convention every year, and I was able to, thankfully, I got asked to be able to perform there and be in the talent show for 2 years, my junior and senior year, and I took 3rd place both years.
Oh, so, congratulations, man.
Dancing.
I just got to perform.
Thank you.
Is the conference is in Indianapolis, right?
That's the national conference.
Gotcha. Yeah. I got to perform at that last October. It was pretty eye opening. Pretty eye opening.
Dude, that's sweet.
Yeah. So that's cool. Future Farm America. Shout out to them. What else did I want to talk about with you guys? Darn, I lost my train of thought. Let's hop over to the notes here. What you guys been listening to recently? We call this segment Tastemakers. We weren't talking about music at all. It's like a DJ podcast. So tell myself and the guests what you guys been grooving to lately. And Caffrey, we'll start with you.
I'm listening to some Lost Frequencies. His new album is pretty good.
What do you like about it?
It's called Cup of Beats. It's just very chill, honestly, and it's, I don't know, all the instrument he used, I like it, so.
Probably pretty good.
Can't wait to see him live again.
That 7:00 p.m. set at Dahlia is probably not too bad, right?
Huh?
Probably good for like the early set at Dahlia, Lost Frequencies.
Yeah.
Maybe too chill.
I was told to play a little bit more hip hop and stuff, so
yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what I got for Dahlia tomorrow.
Yeah. Maybe on the patio or something. What about you, JONOMATIC?
Oh man, I've been listening to a lot. I want to say mainly listening to the most is probably 93rd, and DJ 93rd. He is a Jersey Club DJ and producer.
Another Jersey Club guy.
He is very, very. He's actually very well known. So if you're like big in a Jersey Club, you guys probably have known him. have like known about him or heard about him. He's an actual legend, and he's helped like kind of bring Jersey Club like into the whole EDM scene and everything. And
yeah, because really I remember
helped like form it, and then of course like 4B came play with that.
Yeah, I'm like the one DJ like that didn't like, because it kind of, I want to say maybe 2010, maybe a little before, there was like that first wave of Jersey Club or like Baltimore Club, and I wasn't a big fan. There was like a couple that I liked, but I wasn't a huge fan. And then it really disappeared. And then now, maybe like 3 years ago, I started hearing it again, maybe from guys like you and some other guys in the scene. Has Columbus kind of accepted Jersey Club again, or you really got to, or you have to sneak it in?
Honestly, honestly, it's weird because it's like I do have to sneak it in, but like they'll also accept it at the same time. So, it's a matter of, honestly, if I do like a remix and I play out a remix of a really big like dubstep track or like a really big tune that like everyone knows, then, and it's like a Jersey remix of it, people will like flip out. They'll be like, yo, what is this? And I mean, just because, like, just from like knowing, just from like being in the scene for like as long as I've been in right now, like obviously like Columbus is like very big into dubstep and trap, so it's like it's very hard to kind of get Jersey Club like, you know, kind of get it popping in Columbus, but I'm still playing it out, and there's a few other DJs here in Columbus, actually a few other locals I know that love playing it out as well, so on and so forth. But people, I mean, it's like if I play it, they have fun usually with it, because it kind of gets people grooving, and it chills people out, like between, let's say like if I'm playing a dubstep song, then I have a Jersey Club track as my next song, like I'll kind of chill it out just a little bit, but I won't chill it out too much. So I'll kind of just keep the crowd just kind of bop.
Kind of a little reset, right?
Yeah, it's a small reset, and then from there, I'll tend to make it crazier than what it usually is, just by kind of doing double drops. All you DJs know what double drops are, so. But pretty much that's what I do, and yeah, so that's what I've been listening to right now so far is Jersey Club and a bunch of like Jersey mixes, and I do have a Jersey like power set that I did not too long ago, so which I'm super excited for, because I'll probably end up putting that out soon.
Good. So. Yeah, man, absolutely. I think people, if you want people to recognize it and play it out, you gotta expose them to a little bit. And then you were producing, I don't know if you've taken a break from it now, but like you had put out a couple projects back in the day. Have you been able to do that with the extra time, or are you still kind of
yes
on other things? Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I've just recently put out an EP called the Percussionist EP. That one's like a huge like dubstep and very very dubstep and like trap, as well as my other EP that I put out not too long ago was called Diversity EP. That one is I call it Diversity EP because each song in there is very different. Like, and each song has its own different genre, and I kind of decided to combine a bunch of genres into one. So I would take like two unlike genres together. Like one song that I have on there, it's like it has like a Jersey Club kind of feel, but it also has like this psytrance kind of a vibe as well.
Jersey Club and psytrance, huh?
It has like a whole like Jersey Club like psytrance kind of a vibe for it. But yeah, it's very interesting, like, and it's very diverse. It's different. That's why I just called it Diversity EP. Yeah, literally.
And then Caffrey,
That's
you've
what I
been
like to do is just like, I like to keep it different.
absolutely, dude. And then Caffrey, you've been producing as well. Then you just put out a track or about to put out a track?
Yes, sir. Have this track. I say it's kind of deep house, but it's kind of a mix of pop and with a house drop. But it's coming to all the streaming websites next Friday. I have another one in the work with the original artist. I made a remix for him. His name is Dusk. He's a growing headliner from Philadelphia, and it's a big room house track for that remix, and we're working to release that this winter or fall, something like that. And I have a few more projects in the work. I have a electro house in the work, and I have a tech house in the work. So
nice, man. And then how long have you been producing? And then are those your two first releases?
Yeah, those are my first releases, but I've been producing since I was junior year in high school. I actually produced for 2 years there. I took a class, a music producing class, and just meet deadlines basically, and that's basically what inspired me to produce more, honestly.
Cool, man. We'll look forward to that. The release is coming out for sure. And I want to go over to tips for listeners. I know you guys watch the podcast. This is a segment where we try to give as much advice to, DJs who are coming up, DJs who are maybe in the game a little bit. But we try to make it somewhat diverse. So I want to know what you guys' tips for listeners. And let's start with JONOMATIC this time.
One of my really good tips I like to tell a lot of like beginners, just be yourself, be unique, be very unique, be very different. There's a lot of people that tend to like to sound the same or tend to always want to like be just like somebody else. And for me, it's like I like to kind of not follow the rules, and I like to break the rules and just thing. And that's if you're doing your own thing, always just be yourself, be unique, and just keep producing, and always just keep listening to different types of music. Like not even just EDM, like listen to some jazz, listen to some like rock, metal, because if you listen to all those different kind of genres of music, you'll catch a lot of like different, you'll kind of start catching some ideas. You're like, oh, I can do this. And, you can kind of pull some like different kind of like samples, I guess you could say, or get some really cool ideas out of it. But yeah, so just be yourself, and have fun with it. That's the most important thing. Have fun with producing, have fun with DJing, and just experiment.
I gotta capture here. Krupp, if he was here, would laugh at me. But I think we've had people talk about be unique and things like that. But I did like what you said about listen to different genres of music. Now, when you said that, did you mean different genres of music than you play, or different genres of music that you produce, or the whole thing?
Honestly, the whole thing. Mm-hmm. The whole thing, in my opinion, is like it's. Like, you could become a really good producer if you listen to a different genre that you don't produce at all, but you do, or you don't listen to at all. So, it's the whole thing and all the above.
One thing I thought you might mention is just supporting the scene. I think we've had that mentioned on the podcast too, but that's one thing that you do really, really well, man. I can't tell you how many times I look out in the crowd and JONOMATIC's right there, front row, grooving, helping other people groove. And just, what, as dancers, just having one person on the dance floor that's grooving really, really hard, it makes it that much easier to get the second group out, the third group out, the fourth group out. And you do a really good job of not only showing up, but also just being present on the floor and making it easy for other people to dance. So I appreciate that. And I would kind of call that like a
no problem.
CAFFERY WU, what is your tips for listeners?
Just seize the opportunities and make connections, honestly. Honestly, like when all the COVID happened and tourism closed, I was gonna reach out to you, Mike. I was gonna, do some private events with you.
Oh, okay.
Just to get to see how that is. But
yeah, man. Update your cool music library, and we can definitely talk about that. We're always looking for people with Beat Squad.
Yeah, but so what I'm saying is, obviously, me and you met just out of nowhere at that. So I just, you just got to be brave, and you have to have the skills first. Same thing as when I first started at Tuna. I went and talked to Carter. I was like, hey, I just moved here, and I like house, and I want to play house for you. So if you have a slot open for me, let me know, and we'll see how that goes. And that was the first time I played on CDJs, and apparently I did well. So just seize your opportunities and try your best. Don't fuck up. If you fuck up, that's fine. Yeah. Just go home, work harder, and go try somewhere else. Like I've messed up, at Midway before. The first night I played at the Barstool Midway party, that was me and Trevor. I messed up pretty bad. I don't think my library was good enough for Midway yet. And Chang gave me some advice afterwards. But same as I said before, I made some good connections there. I met a Barstool guy who ended up actually liking the music I played. And ended up a couple weeks ago, we got Barstool to start promoting for Dahlia as well, which was huge. So just keep making connections. Your connections will come help you at one point.
And Caffrey, how long have you been in Columbus?
2 years and few weeks.
Yeah, man.
2 years and a few weeks. Yeah.
I think it's crazy how quickly, you've been able to make your name pop up on flyers, both on campus and downtown. So definitely props to you. And I agree. I think some people have said it before, but connections are everything. And maybe how do you go about making connections with DJs? Maybe since we've already had that on the podcast, we'll take it a step further. Is there a good time to talk to DJs? What's a good opening line so that you're not, intimidating them, thinking that you're going to take their job or anything? Do you have any advice for that?
I've actually made quite a few mistakes on that part. So I'm talking, based on my experience, just don't talk to them when they're mixing or when they're picking songs. Like even now, I still have people coming up to me when I'm picking songs or mixing. I actually can't talk to you. I can talk to you, but I can just let the song play out, right? But it's a tough choice for the DJ that's playing. It's a tough choice for them to make, whether to talk to you or so. I wouldn't be mad, but some DJs would be mad, and I think maybe catch them before. I prefer to go to the venue early and hopefully see the DJ there, hopefully. And if it doesn't happen, then maybe I'll catch him afterwards or catch him on a break or something like that. And I will just introduce myself, say my name and what I do, and I'll just tell them I just want to come here and see what it's like in this club. I've never been here. To be honest, most of the work I actually did it before I turned 21, so I've been talking to bar managers as well, persuading them that I'm not going to drink, which I didn't drink. So, yeah. So it's kind of once I talk to the managers, they'll actually bring me to the DJ and introduce me to them. So.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So you kind of have a liaison, from the, you're getting introduced to the DJ. So the DJ's okay, it's not just this random guys over here talking to the owner and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Cool. I like it.
Yeah.
Now, is there any topics that we didn't get to cover today or you guys wanted to ask? Just me, I guess. And it's cool if not, man. It's cool if not.
I think I had a question earlier, but I don't remember it anymore.
That's all right. John, you got anything?
I don't even know if I have anything for you.
That's okay.
Because, I don't know. Actually, since you're a turntablist, have you the Phase, which is that wireless needle thing?
Yeah. I own Phase. I tried it 3, 4, 5 times for real actual practice sessions. It's great. It works, but I don't think it compares into the Rain 12s. I guess if you're looking for, if you can't afford Rain 12s yet, I think the FaZe is a great stepping stone, but they had a really poor launch, and it took them a long time to correct the issues from that launch. And so I feel like maybe just now, maybe like right before quarantine is when FaZe really is starting to get their name back, maybe like a year and a half after their original release, and then like almost 3 years since their announcement of like, oh, hey, we have this technology. So I think if they get the integration with Serato, which they're working on right now, I think that'll solidify it as a player in the game. But I think right now, the DJs that use it are finally like feel comfortable like saying to other DJs like, yo, you got to try this, yo, you got to try this. When in that first year and a half when it was out, it was kind of like, yeah, it works, but there's all these other things that you have to worry about. So I think that's where FaZe is at. I think it'll be a player in the game. I would love to see version 2 coming out, just kind of being like, hey, version 1 was a wreck. Here's version 2. And then I think that will really pop off. But it works. It definitely works. It's really cool. I think there was like that first 2 weeks where everyone, including myself, was doing the thing where like you were holding the record up in the air and scratching it. Well, my camera's off. You're scratching it like so you could like hold the FaZe thing and do like that and like kind of do routines that way. So that died off pretty quickly. And now it's just, this is an easier way to DJ. And I think a lot of club DJs really like it. But yeah, I was like talking about the gear stuff. You know me. But I do have questions for you guys. Where can we find you? And we'll start with CAFFERY. And I guess we'll in person and on the internet.
In person wise, you'll see me tomorrow at Dahlia, opening for Biju. You will also see Corrupt tomorrow.
Maybe we gotta check on him.
Yeah. But yeah, hopefully he's there too. But it will be a good time. And if there's any requests, not requests, but if you want the last remaining sections, hit up Joyo on Instagram. I guess he handles all the stuff. But yeah,
play closer.
Huh?
He says play closer.
Yeah.
By,
hopefully.
Who's that? Chainsmokers? Yeah, Chainsmokers.
Yeah, but I'll try. All my social media tags is the CAFFERY WU. So the THECAFFERY and WU. Type that in there, you'll find me. And apart from that, you will most likely see me every week. Dahlia. We're still working on that. I'm not sure what's going to happen yet. That's another tip for just beginners. Like, treat every single day you DJ as your last. Cherish the time you have, because maybe the next morning get a text saying, hey, we don't want you here anymore. So that's just how I live my day. Honestly, treat every day as my last.
Or some pandemic will come through and wipe out all your gigs. Definitely that phrase of treat every gig as your last reigns a little bit harder in 2020. So appreciate that. JONOMATIC, where can we find you in person and online?
First off, in person, I'm honestly mainly home. I'm always out and around. Like, if there's any shows going on, you'll probably find me there somewhere in the crowd, dancing or just hanging out in the back, talking to people. And yeah, but online, you can find me on any social platform pretty much. Facebook.com/DJJONOMATIC. So if you just type up JONOMATIC and you Google, see all my platforms will probably be up there, and also my website JONOMATICmusic.com. So make sure you guys go ahead and check that out. I know I have some videos up. I got some old videos up there too and everything. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you just Google JONOMATIC and me everywhere on there. So
dope. And props for having the .com, man. I don't think enough DJs have like the .com website, and that's definitely something that could really help with your SEO. Maybe not so much as in like, 5-10 years ago with the popularity of Instagram, but I still think it's important to have that, that .com website, especially, or the .com email. So like JONOMATIC Music or JONOMATICmusic.com email looks great when you're sending that out to promoters or bookers or anything like that, or record labels. I wanted to shout out 614. They make great apparel, focused in the city of Columbus. They sponsored this segment called 614 Releases. And I get to actually talk about a project that I worked on. I can't remember if I was talking about it in the pre-show or whether we are actually talking about it now, but I released a mixtape called The Women of Rap, and it's an appreciation of the ladies in hip-hop. So Queen Latifah, Salt and Pepper, Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, City Girls, just all the ladies in hip hop. Nicki Minaj, I got to mention her. And I kind of just put it together, 45-minute mix that I did for DMX. I did it live, and I typically do my mixes in Ableton, but it was a lot of hip hop jumping between different BPMs. So I figured I'd do it live, add some scratching, add some creativity, and you guys can check that out on my website or my IG. And that was all I had. I saw rumblings of Intel maybe releasing some new songs here soon, but I haven't seen that. And once again, guys, if you're releasing a project, let us know. Corrupt's Lost in the Sauce should be coming out next week. That's with me and the Wiretap Brothers. But we want to promote Columbus artists. We want to promote mixtapes, songs, albums, whatever you guys have coming out. Caffrey, when you release your stuff, you're going to let me know. JONOMATIC, if you have another project,
absolutely,
let us know as well, right?
Yes, we'll do.
If you are watching this on YouTube, make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment with anything you'd like to see from us, new DJs, new topics, questions you want our people to ask. I read every single comment on there. Like helps everyone find the video, and if you subscribe, I do a bunch of tutorials, gear reviews, and discussions just like this. CAFFERY WU, JONOMATIC, thank you guys so much for coming on here. We're going to put an Amber Alert out.
Thank you for having us.
Corrupt. Yep. And make sure we find him before tomorrow. Caffrey, good luck opening for Bijou. And guys,
absolutely,
take care. Make sure you're staying safe out there. And yeah, thanks for being on.
Thank you for having us.
Anytime. Thank you so much for having us.
Hey, of course, guys. Peace
Hopefully
out.
we'll see you very soon some venues.
Yeah, man. I'll be out. I might be out tomorrow at Bijou. I got the night off. We'll see.